Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing these beads here. These are Tyvek beads and they're basically like a paper bead, but you don't really need much glue with them, and I'll show you for why in a second. So these are some of the beads that I have created already. I want them to go with, I've been doing these Art Nouveau kind of pendants and things, so I want to be making a few. I might do an Art Nouveau style junk journal at some point, so I want to kind of get all my beads and things ready in the meantime. So I'm going to show you how to create these, so if you want to see, then please keep on watching. Okay, so firstly, what is Tyvek? Tyvek is basically, I know in the US they use Tyvek. This is actually a sheet of Tyvek. It is what they use for security envelopes and things like that. So if you get letters from your bank, etc., you can't actually physically rip it. It's very, very difficult to rip. It's also used to make hazmat suits for kind of like investigations and things like that. So this is what you see when they're in all the whole white kind of suit. This is what it is basically. It's a paper, and I got mine from Amazon. Now I don't know if they still do it, but here is all of the information. I'll have a look. Excuse my fingers, you'll see why they're like that in a minute. I'll have a look online and I'll link a few people who sell Tyvek sheets. These are in A4 sheets on Amazon, and I'll link those below. I have done these beads before, but I was actually re-inspired. I've actually joined a group and it's called Babble and Dabble over on Facebook, and it's actually run by some very good friends of mine, and every Monday they do a dabble. So they dabble in a certain craft or a certain technique of something, and this week they did paper beads, and I love paper beads. I love the fact that you can make a bead and wear it out of paper, and I absolutely love that. And they used the Lidl, the free booklet from Lidl, and some of the things that they created were amazing. I think they've done lampshades, they've done they show you how to do scary FX makeup for Halloween. What else have they done? They've done a cherry blossom, like a Chinese cherry blossom made out of crepe paper, and they actually created a vase as well with paper, with some fancy folding and scoring, which was amazing. So I'll pop the link to them below as well. So a really great group to check out and a lovely bunch of ladies. So I'll pop the link below if you want to kind of join in on their lives and things like that. So this is where I got my inspiration. So that is Tyvek. Now what I have already gone ahead and done, I'm just going to move these sections out of the way here. This is what it would look like, obviously, without all the paint on. But I have actually gone ahead and painted one side already. So this is one side painted already. That's why my mat's a little bit dirty. So we'll paint the other side and we'll let that dry, and then we can make some beads with the Tyvek that is already dried. So I am just using regular Common or Garden acrylic paint. I'm using these Silkies, which is a water-based paint. It's a stamping paint, and then these just normal acrylic paints. So I'm just going to start off, and this is actually for a project, as I say, I'm hoping to do. So I'm just going to pop some on my brush, and literally there is no rhyme or reason to any of this. You don't have to paint the other side if you don't want to. If you want to have the white on the other side, then you can do. I just like to kind of have it on both sides if you wish. Just pop a bit more on there, and we'll go up here. And because it's kind of like a security style paper, it's more like a plastic type paper. If you do make junk journals, you know Tyvek, you can get Tyvek tape to reinforce the binders in your journals. So, you know, this is just another way of using your Tyvek. So I'm just going to do a couple of streaks like so, and then I'm going to use some of this Silkies. As I say, there's no rhyme or reason to how I'm painting this. So we're just going to paint this and then we will be back. So as you can see here now, I have got this all painted up. I'm going to let that dry. We've got it painted up on both sides. But in the meantime, while that's drying, I actually have some strips cut up already. Now I'm going to use, I've got a little bit of a heat mat here as well, because obviously we're going to heat set these. I've got a glue stick and I have got a little, come here, where are you? Lollipop stick. And this is what we're going to use to kind of, you could use like a knitting needle or something like that, but only because of the heat, I'm using this because then I won't burn my fingers. So what we're going to do next is I'll take one of the smaller ones. I've literally just got a piece of paper and I've just randomly cut triangles out of our A4 sheet into these kind of strips here. And as you can see, they're all going to be completely different. These are all from the same piece of paper. So depending on how big or small you create your beads, these are hand cut, so they're free form. You can actually get templates on the internet and things like that to do it a little bit more regimented if that is the way that you want to do your beads. But I actually quite like the fact that they're quite organic in their nature, which is the Art Nouveau, arts and crafts style. So I'm going to take one section here. I'm hoping you can see this because I might, no, it'll be fine. Let's have a look. I think you can see this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the thicker side of our strip, and then in the center of my wooden lollipop stick, I'm just going to wrap that round, push it up, and then pull it back, and then push it back again. That just kind of makes sure that you've got everything together there. And literally you're just going to roll this straight up. And if you find it's going off kilter, don't worry too much. This isn't like an actual paper bead where you have to glue everything together. You can manipulate it a little bit. The only bit of glue that we are going to use is for the tip, just to hold everything in place. So I should have taken the lid off, but never mind. Now it's just going to run a little bit of glue just up there, and then we're just going to roll, roll, roll and roll. So there we go. Now that is effectively a paper bead. If you wanted to leave it that way, that's fine, but I would then glue the whole section. So now I'm going to bring in my heat mat, and my heat gun's rather loud, so I shall explain. I may even do a voiceover, we shall see, but I'm just going to heat this. So I've got my heat gun, and it is literally just a heat it up tool, and a hairdryer won't work because it's not hot enough. This is why we have the rod here. So I'm just going to pop this on, and then I'll probably do a little bit of a voiceover. If not, I'll explain afterwards. So here I'm just pointing the direction of the heat onto the bead. I don't know if you can see, but it just starts to kind of melt and meld together, which creates this fantastic kind of organic rippled effect, which I absolutely love, which is why we paint the underside of the paper as well, so then you can reveal the colours that are underneath the paper. So just take that off, give that a little bit of a roll, like so. Don't worry about any scraggly bits here, you can just literally take those off. And that is, as you can see here, it just literally heats everything together, and as it heats everything together, it kind of sticks everything as well. So there's one. We'll just do another one. And because you've painted the paper in such a random way, this is what creates such different looks. I'm going to go this side and I have that as the inside, like so. So remember, roll it, pull it back and roll it again, and then just roll all the way up, like so. And then, oh, I put the lid on. Why did I put the lid on? Too organised. Hang on a sec. There we go. I'll keep the lid off because I'll be making some others. There we go. And then we're just going to wrap that around our paper. Bring in my heat mat and let's heat again. And then if I show you that a bit more, don't know if you see that, is it focusing? There we go. And just slide that off and carry on. Okay, so that's all of those done. If you wanted to, you can literally seal them if you want. If you've got an acrylic glaze or something like that. I use PVA glue wherever I've put that. Here we are. And it's literally just a cheap PVA glue, and I'm just going to take that off and we'll pop them back onto here just to glaze, and then that's it. That is your Tyvek bead. So I'm just literally going straight in neat with the PVA glue, and that just literally just coating the top. If you've got like an artist's medium, a glaze or something like that, then you could do that. I haven't tried using embossing powder with these, simply for the fact that I just haven't tried it, and I suppose I probably could now. I've got it to hand. Let's see what happens if we put embossing powder on it. We're going off piste here, people. So let's see what actually happens. I'll do it with this smaller one because then it'd be easier. Now I'll just finish coating these in PVA, just to give them a little bit of a gloss, that's all. So I mean, these have been, but you can't, I mean, you can see it a little bit. It just kind of keeps it all nice and coated. So I just take that off. Right then, let's have a look and see if we can emboss. Okay, to heat emboss, I'll just move these out of the way because I don't want to, them ones are drying. Those ones are dry, and I'll have to sort out my brush in a sec. So for heat embossing, I'm just going to pop this back on to my rod. This is a Versamark stamp. It's literally like it'll moisten this up, so then I can pop into my extra deep embossing powder. Now I've had this for years. This was done by oh, I can't remember, My Craft Studio. I got it in a whole pack. I mean, we're talking probably nearly 10 years ago maybe, but so that's what that is, and that's how long that's lasted me. But you can get clear embossing powders everywhere, and as you can see, my Versamark ink pad isn't perfect, so all I'm going to do is just roll this bead in there. Just take that off the end like so, and then all I'm going to do is literally grab the embossing powder, and I might just move it to the end, and then we'll just dip that in like so. Pop the lid back onto there. Let's have a look and see what happens. Oh, I'm quite excited. Okay, as you can see there, it's given it a really nice gloss. I'm just going to let that cool down a little bit, because obviously that's going to be a lot hotter than, because it's still a little bit sticky. Hopefully I can get it off. There you go. And then just pop that onto the end there. That actually looks really cool. That kind of gives it a really nice glass-like finish, and it'll give it sturdiness as well. It makes it quite hard. Don't know if you can hear that, but there you can see that. Ooh, I quite like that. So I probably wouldn't do that with these beads, but I'll maybe do that with some other ones. But there we go. That is my Tyvek bead. You can see how much more sparkly that one is, or shiny that one is, compared to the others. But this is all from the same piece of paper. So obviously I just went freehand. 6, 8, 10. So that's 10 beads from one A4 sheet. You can plan it and cut them, have a template to cut, you know, and kind of be a bit more economic with your Tyvek. But as I say, I like the fact that you can create different shapes of beads, and you'll never create the same bead again, even when you do cut them out to the template, because obviously with the heating of the Tyvek, you know, you can see here, it just kind of, it gives it that shibori style look to it. Very bohemian, very organic look. And they're really solid as well. They're not, you know, so fantastic way of creating paper beads. And as I say, I'll pop the link to some Tyvek suppliers from Amazon below. But that is today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for everybody who has subscribed to me in the last few weeks. It's been fantastic. I'm gonna be working on, I've got a few things I worked on. I saw a video the other day, and I was inspired. Now I'll have to find who the video is, and when I show this another time, I'll be able to link the lady who did it. But it was a fantastic tutorial. But I've got my lap book coming on nicely, so we've got lots of projects coming up, and I cannot wait. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody is doing okay, and yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.